I'm Clint from Sandler Training in Manitoba. At Sandler, we're a professional development firm that focuses on working with organizations that want to make their people great. Individuals, maybe like you, that know you have the future to achieve great things, and yet you're not quite sure if you have the tool set to make it happen. We segment our clients into 4 basic buckets. Our first pillar would be, how do we make sure that our customer-facing employees really connect with our existing clients to make sure that experience is strong. The second bucket is, how do I make sure that my sales team is really focused on growth, hitting tough numbers to help us grow our organization and our business. The third bucket is, how do I enable my leaders, the people that I'm promoting into management and positions of authority to hit harder targets in any department, with the right tool set to help understand the motivations of others and help those team members achieve tough targets. And the fourth pillar is our C-suite of clients. And the individuals that are at the top end of the organization are really focused on making sure the overall organization has the right plans in place, the right people doing the right positions with the right metrics for success. Let's dive into leadership for a moment. As a manager, we have a number of different roles that we have to play. And our job is to make sure that not only are we doing tasks that help move the business forward, but we're also doing a lot of tasks and investing a lot of time in making sure that I know how to lead people. If I think about the different roles that I have to do when I'm leading people, that includes, I need to supervise. I need to use a little bit of the authority that I have in my role to make sure the individuals on my team are held accountable, that they come to me with the results rather than me having to follow up with them and try to handhold everything to the end. Second thing that I got to do is I got to make sure that I know how to train my people. If I don't train my people to do the job in an efficient and effective way, if I don't give them the processes and the tool set to be successful, how could you expect your team members to do the right thing? Obviously, as I grow in my organization and as I represent the beliefs, the performance level, and all of the other things that are in the culture of my organization, I become a mentor, and I help people go from their current position into other organizational opportunities and help them grow throughout life. But probably the most important thing that I have to figure out how to do as a leader is how to coach somebody. Now, coaching, we all naturally might say, I'm great at coaching. People love me. They come and sit down. We have a conversation, I give them some ideas, or I tell them what I would do, and they go out and do it. Unfortunately, most of the time when we find ourselves coaching, what we actually find ourselves doing is telling people. We tell them how to go solve the solution. We tell them what needs to be done so that they can get the result set. And every once in a while, when we're not quite satisfied with how that person is going to go and do the job, I take over and I say, it's okay, I'll go do the job myself. When I'm coaching somebody, I have to use a few tools to help me be successful. So I'm going to break that down into a little bit of our Sandler language and how we make sure that we focus on the right thing. Coaching is a process. It's not an event. If I speak about what a process means it's a repeatable opportunity where 2 individuals are connecting on a level that's more than just authority. There's a relationship connection in there. There's a respect connection in there for the 2 individuals, where we can assess, where is it that I'm at today? Where is it that I should be heading? Where I can define what specific steps I need to take to get there, and when I can go out and execute on those steps. I think about the coach to success model because I don't know where I'm going if I can't figure out where I am. The assessment is the starting point of understanding what is it that we need to accomplish. Let me give you an example. We do a decent amount of work with people in sales. And while I'm going to give you a sales example, it's really an example that we can blow out to pretty much any role in the organization. Let's say I am working with somebody in sales, and in that individual, they know they're supposed to go do a certain number of prospecting activities. They know they're supposed to reach out to clients. They know they're supposed to talk to existing customers and try to upsell things. Yet it's all too natural to hear a few excuses as to why this couldn't happen. Sometimes it sounds a little like, well, yeah, I know, but they're not quite ready for that. So I just want to have some time. Let me leave it with them so that they come back to me when it seems right for them. Fortunately, that's a little bit vague. And that might give us some insights that we need to help that person have the right tool set or the right belief set to be successful. And now I'm going to establish some goals. On the right-hand side of my screen, I've got what we call our success triangle. And if I think about what we need to do with the success triangle is I need to figure out if I want to talk to somebody about how can they do any task, I want to break things into 3 buckets. 1, what are the key behaviors that I need somebody to do in order to know that they're doing the right things today that are going to result in long-term success? A project manager has to make sure that they have input from all of the different project team leads or other areas to make sure that they can report up to their supervisor. One of the things they might need to do is make sure that they run a very effective project meeting to understand what types of things are going well, what types of things are off the rails, and what type of things are at risk, and what do we do to prevent risk. Behavior is the activity of actually doing a task. So if one of my behaviors as a project manager is to run an assessment, a status meeting on a meeting, that happens to be a type of behavior. If I think about other roles, when I think about sales, I think about a behavior becomes how many times am I reaching out to new people, building new relationships, how many times am I reaching out to existing clients in order to talk about other potential solutions that we can offer them. Those are quantifiable things in a period of time. Behavior always has a number assigned to an activity. So now I take that behavior recipe and say, I need you to do this amount of time. Sounds good. How many times have you seen somebody do a whole bunch of behavior without knowing how to actually do the job in an effective manner? If they don't know how to prospect, that might lead us to believe that their techniques aren't exactly where they need to be. So now let's go over to the technique bucket and let's figure out how is it that I start a conversation with people that I want to work with? How is it that I go and make sure that I'm utilizing my responsibility as an employee to go out and find people that I can help provide solutions to? I am a consultant. If I don't know how to have no pressure prospect conversation, I might push people away because what people hate are pushy salespeople. And the more we push, the more they run. So my technique has to include a few things like, well, what is active listening? What is the idea of setting clear expectations up front? What are some of the things that I need to do to lower the pressure and become a consultant versus becoming a pusher? Those are some of the tool sets that we have to learn and we can train people to do. Above all of this, we also have to consider the attitude. Now let's say my belief set tells me it's rude to reach out to new people and that I'm wasting their time when I need to call them and check if they happen to be a potential client. If I manage that belief set and if I live my life by it, I'm probably going to not do some of the behaviors that we started talking about a little bit earlier. My recipe needs to include what are the behaviors I need to do, what is the beliefs I need to do to be successful, and what are the techniques I need to use in order to do it efficiently and effectively. And if I can't combine all of these 3 things into an effective role, how can I actually expect somebody to do the job I'm leading them to do? I'm Clint from Ask Sandler in Manitoba. The little overview I just gave you is about how to coach somebody in order to help them be more successful. We host a lot of those conversations in our Sandler Leadership Acceleration Program, aka SLAP. When are you ready for a SLAP?
Disclaimer. No actual slaps will be handed out to any of the participants in this program.